Hey guys, we are finally done filming for our project after a very long and determined process. So today I'm going to be answering the most top 2 asked questions about the portfolio project. When I first go on Google, the first thing I see is, did you gain better production skills while creating your Ace Media portfolio project? So in my opinion, 100% yes. I didn't have any background on filming, editing, or even like creating a movie. So when I first heard about this project, I was so nervous. I learned so much, like how time consuming it is, and that there's always gonna be a mistake along the process that you need to prepare for. Having a second option is always the best way to go. During my first few months in Ace Media Studies, we did a lot of projects like the sound project, the music video project, and the one-word film, which really prepared me for what was to come. I learned a lot about new angles, composition, and movement, especially at editing. I needed a lot of work on my editing skills because I've never done it before. Because of those past projects, I learned a lot, and it helped me a lot with sound and especially with camera angles. So during this project, I was very abundant that I needed to be careful where my shooting angles were going to be and also where my audio was going to be, because if you're in the wrong spot, you never know what's going to be in the background or how the audio is going to sound once the video is over. Overall, I think this project taught me a lot of new things. For the amount of time that it took us to create, it took us over 8 weeks. That's a long time. I learned so many new things, and I learned a lot on very different apps that I've never used before, especially like the copyright-free music apps. I think those were so interesting to me because I love just coming together after all my filming was done and being able to design everything. Like, that was so fun for me. For me, this project helped me figure out that I love editing. I wasn't sure if I was gonna like filming better, project planning, or editing, but for me, since I'm a creative person, I loved editing. I thought it was so fun being able to design my own video and putting my ideas out there, especially with the planning. That's what I liked the most. Coming up with the idea was such a fun idea for me, and I just loved that I was able to use like my own personal experiences and use them in the film. Speaking of technology, the second question is, what types of software, hardware, or any type of technology is best when doing your portfolio project? First side of my project, I didn't know any of the apps to use or websites. The first app that we were introduced to was called Blogger. We were introduced to the app all the way in the first semester of Ace Media Studies, but as we started this project, we got more familiar with it. These past 8 weeks, I've been using Blogger to help me plan, write scripts, and even just debrief about anything that was happening. When I needed to research all my items, I would just go on Blogger and list everything down and just start going in order. It was such a helpful way for me to just stay on track, and I loved using it. When it came to editing, I used iMovie. iMovie is a very simple, easy editing app, and I thought it came very simple to me. I know Adobe is used very quite often, but I thought for me it was much harder to use than iMovie. When I needed to put my audio into Adobe, it was just so hard. But when I used iMovie, I just downloaded my files and it went right perfectly into my scenes that I wanted to use. And I'm just a beginner, so I thought it worked fine for me. But I think in a couple years, if I keep on going with editing movies or scripts or anything like that, I'll definitely use Adobe. One of my favorite websites that I also used was Canva. I used Canva so many times during this production. I used it in my opening credits and I loved it. There's so many different templates you can use that I just think are so smart and they're so fun to create. You can design them how you want, and I thought it was just perfect. Also, I used Canva when I was creating my first CCR cover, which was the podcast screen. And I got my own template, but then I just designed it from there. And I had so much fun with it, and I just think it's so simple, yet so useful. The last thing I'm going to talk about is what I use to film. So I use my iPhone 13 because I don't have any professional cameras, but instead of just using my hands to film, I got a tripod. And I thought the tripod was so helpful, and it looks a lot cleaner when filming. Especially you're able to pan or just move up and down where you want the camera to go. And in the end, it looks super good and professional. Okay, those were the 2 questions that I was asked to answer, and I'm so excited for this film to be seen, and I'm so excited for everyone to just enjoy it and love it. If you have any more questions, let me know, and I can't wait to be back. Bye.